Well, hello and welcome. I'm Miss Heard with Miss Heard Song Lyrics Podcast, and we're doing today Season 5, Episode 234, first ever Cyndi Lauper Miss Heard Song Lyric. The Miss Heard lyric is, I found love in the morning light. My mother says, when you gonna live your life right? And the correct lyrics is, I come home in the morning light. My mother says, when you gonna live your life right? For years, I thought she said, I found love, not I come home. So let's begin. We're going to do Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I've always wanted to do this misheard song lyric for years. And then, of course, the universe said, you got to do it because I just recently watched the Netflix documentary on how the 1985's We Are the World was created. And what I thought was interesting, the takeaway was, where is Madonna? I don't see Madonna there. And after doing some internet sleuthing, I found that they actually invited Cyndi Lauper to be a part of this amazing event and to sing a line from We Are the World, because Lionel Richie, who was kind of the director of all the singers, and others felt that she was a better singer at the time versus Madonna. And that's why Madonna wasn't invited or part of the song. Yikes. If you haven't seen the Netflix documentary, you need to see it. It's called The Greatest Night in Pop. And I learned so much, and that was one of them. And the cute thing is, if you watch it, they're getting a lot of playback. You know, this is back in the day where it's not a lot of computers. It's really playing, and then they edit it. And they're like, what is that sound? And then after many takes during her line, they realized it was all the necklaces that she was wearing that was clanking that was doing the feedback. So she had to take it all off. Then they could actually do her take. So big did you know, you need to watch it. All right, let's talk about Girls Just Want to Have Fun. So it is a song obviously made famous by American singer-songwriter Cyndi Lauper. We used to call her when I was a kid, Cyndi Wappa. 4 years after it was written by a Robert Hazard. Interesting. It was released by Portrait Records as Lauper's first major single as a solo artist and the lead single from her debut album, She's So Unusual from 1983. Lauper gained a lot of recognition on the song because it was considered, and still is, a feminist anthem. And of course, didn't hurt with a Grammy-winning music video. So we'll go into that in a bit. Let's talk about Miss Cyndi Lauper herself. She was born Cynthia Ann Stephanie Lauper back on June 22nd, 1953. She's an American singer, songwriter, actress, activist, and she has a career that's now over 40 years. I love her. Her album, She's So Unusual from 1983, was the first debut album by a female artist to achieve 4 top 5 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. So it was Girls Just Want to Have Fun, what we're talking about today. Time After Time. Oh, love that song. She Bop, song about, well, you look it up, you'll see. But it's an interesting, I love the backstory of She Bop. And All Through the Night. All Through the Night. Oh, beautiful song. It earned Lauper the Best New Artist Award at the 27th Annual Grammy Awards in 1985. Definitely, she earned that Best New Artist. And then she had further success doing a soundtrack song for the motion picture that was actually filmed in my neck of the woods here in the United States, northwestern part, which is in the Oregon area, Astoria, called The Goonies in 1985. That was the song that she did for Goonies. And then in 1986 did her record True Colors, which of course the song had the #1 single True Colors, and Change of Heart, which peaked at #3. And then in 1989, she saw more success with I Drove All Night. And in 1993, her first dance club hit with That's What I Think. I got to download some Cyndi Lauper, her greatest hits, because she has some great songs. Since 1983, Miss Lauper has released 11 studio albums and part of many projects, obviously, because everyone wants to work with her. And then in 2010, Memphis Blues became Billboard's most successful blues album of the year, remaining at #1 on the Billboard Blues Albums chart for 13 consecutive weeks. I didn't even know about that. What I didn't also know about was in 2013, she won her Tony Award for Best Original Score from composing the Broadway musical Kinky Boots, making her the first woman to win the category by herself. The musical itself was awarded 5 of their Tonys, including Tony Award for Best Musical. And in 2014, Lauper was also awarded the Grammy Award for Best Musical Theater Album for the cast recording. In 2016, the West End production won Best New Musical at the Olivier Awards. So many accolades coming through. She has sold over 50 million records worldwide and has won, of course, many awards, including Grammys, Emmys, Tonys, the New York Outers Critics Circle, MTV Video Music Awards, Billboard Awards, and American Music Awards. And she is also an inductee in both the Songwriter Hall of Fame and the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And she's only one of the few singers out there to win 3 of the 4 major American Entertainment Awards, which is the EGOT. So that's an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. She's only missing the Oscar. You know who actually won it recently? I didn't even know. She used to be a American Idol contestant. I got 8th place or 4th, and she ended up becoming an EGOT. This is, of course, again, we got I can see her. She's a beautiful African American lady. She won her Oscar for doing the musical Now Made movie for you know who I'm talking about. Look her up, Jennifer Hudson. Jennifer Hudson, yes. So Jennifer Hudson has an EGOT. She's an EGOT, so she has all 4. You know what? Amazing. So Cyndi Lauper, if you do something, either some movie, or maybe do another score for a movie, get that Oscar, because I have a feeling she'll get her EGOT sooner than later. She's also featured in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's Women Who Rock exhibit, and her debut album is included in Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time, with Time After Time is included in VH1's list of the 100 best songs for the past 25 years. VH1 also ranked Lauper number 58 of the 100 greatest women of rock and roll. She's also known for her distinct look, her voice, and her eccentric clothing and variety of hair colors. And I didn't realize, but her voice is actually very powerful. And she has what they say, distinctive 4-octave singing range. Oh my God, I'm learning so much about her. And I'm loving her more and more, what I'm learning. In 1984 and 85, Cyndi Lauper appeared on the covers of Rolling Stone magazine, Time, and Newsweek. She appeared twice on the cover of People and was named a Miss Magazine Woman of the Year in 1985. She's also been celebrated for her humanitarian work, particularly as a very big advocate for LGBT rights in the United States. She's very loved. And then her charitable efforts were acknowledged back in 2013, so already 11 years ago, when she was invited as a special guest to attend U.S. President Barack Obama's second inauguration. So a little personal thing, because I was like, is she married? Who is she married with? Or maybe not. She is. On November 24th, 1991, she married actor David Thornton. And I'm like, David Thornton. So I looked him up. And I've seen him many times. And look him up, because you'll know him as soon as you see a picture. He's good, very good looking. Looks like Italian man. I don't know. He was born David Farrington Thornton, born on June 12, 1953. He is an American actor. He's appeared in John Q, Home Alone 3, and as Earl Unger in Law & Order. So I know him from Law & Order, the series. He was also in The Notebook and The Other Woman, among other roles. Thornton met Cyndi Lauper on the set of the film Off and Running, and then they married in November 1991 and have a son, Declan Wallace Thornton, who was born in 1997. And from what I can see, they're still married. So hurrah! So there is a little bit about Miss Cyndi Lauper, but let's go back to the song. So back on October 14, 1983, Cyndi Lauper released her first solo album. Like I said, She's So Unusual. The album became a worldwide hit. I remember it when I was 11 at the time, peaking number 4 in the U.S. and reaching the top 5 in 8 other countries. There were studio musicians by the name of Eric Bazillion and Rob Hyman of the Hooters. Have you heard of them? They're also a great band themselves. Rick Chertoff, Richard Termini, and Peter Wood. Lauper became popular with teenagers and criticized in part to do with her hybrid punk image. I loved her orange yellow, which was then crafted by stylist Patrick Lucas. She co-wrote 4 songs on her album She's So Unusual, including the hits Time After Time and She Bop. On the songs she did not write, Lauper sometimes changed the lyrics, and that's what she did with Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Lauper found the original lyrics to be misogynistic, and so look it up. She also rewrote the song as an anthem for young women, and boy did it. Per songfacts.com, it said, quote unquote, musically, Girls Just Want to Have Fun was modeled on another 80s pop classic, Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners. Remember? Come On Eileen. I love it. Lauper and her team tried recording in a few different styles, but nothing was working. One day they were talking about Come On Eileen. That was a big hit in the summer of 1983 when they were recording the album, and Lauper suggested they try it in that style. Quote unquote, she said, they say, I turned down the tempo knob on the drum machine, programmed in the same kick drum pattern as Come On Eileen, clicked on my guitar, and played the guitar riff. Eric Bazillion said in the book, Skaboom. She started singing, and that was it. So there's a lightning in the bottle. The album included 5 cover songs, including the Brains' new wave track Money Changes Everything, love that, number 27 on the Billboard Hot 100, and I didn't realize Prince's When You Were Mine. The album made Lauper the first female to have 4 consecutive Billboard Hot 100 5 hits from one album, and the LP stayed in the top 200 charts for more than 65 weeks, and she sold about 16 million copies worldwide. And remember, at the time in the 80s, you had to go to the album store to buy the album. You couldn't just download it. She, of course, like I said earlier, won Best New Artist at the 1985 Grammy Awards. And of course, her album, She's So Unusual, also received many nominations for Album of the Year, Record of the Year, Best Female Pop Vocal Performance for Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and Song of the Year for Time After Time. It also won the Grammy for Best Album Package, what went to the art director of Janet Purr. And then I told you earlier that she, in 1985, released a single, The Goonies Are Good Enough, from the soundtrack from the movie The Goonies, and a great video that comes with it with several of her wrestling stars. We'll talk about why I'm talking about wrestling. And the song reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. I want to talk about the video. Look it up on YouTube or whatever. It is actually, I had to look at the numbers again. I'm like, wait a minute. As of the date I'm filming it right now in February 2024, when it was uploaded from October 25th, 2009, it's at 1.3 billion with a B views. That's the most I've ever seen. With all the podcast episodes I've done, I've never seen any of the video ever hitting the billion mark. Apparently, the music video officially crossed 1 billion views in YouTube in January 2022, so 2 years ago. That's amazing. And a little bit more about the music video. It cost less than $35,000 at the time to make, but at that time, it's equivalent to $103,000 in 2022 money. So it was pretty expensive back then. But they could have spent more, but they had a lot of volunteers to cast in the video, a lot of friends and family, and I'll go into that in a bit, and the free loan of the most sophisticated video equipment available at all time by Lauren Michaels from S&M. The cast included Lauper's close friend, professional wrestler, manager Captain Lou Albano, in the role of Lauper's father. That's the guy that she's yelling back and forth with. And her real mom, Katrine, played herself. And according to Songfacts.com, it said Lauper's real-life mother had no acting experience, but did just fine, and she sure did. Lauper's attorney, Elliot Hoffman, also appeared as the uptight dancing partner. Also in the cast were Lauper's manager, David Wolf, her brother, Butch Lauper, fellow musician Steve Forbert, and a bevy of secretaries borrowed from Portrait CBS, Lauper's record label at the time. How fun. And then in the middle of it, there is a clip from the Hunchback of Notre Dame film in which Lauper is watching on television. So there's random, she's watching that movie. So before the song starts, the beginning of her version of, she does a cover, I guess, of it, or it starts at the beginning of the video of He's So Unusual plays. I'm like, what's that? I'm so confused. Isn't her album called She's So Unusual? It is. So when you look up He's So Unusual, it's actually a song from the late 1920s performed by a Helen Kane, who was the inspiration of none other than Betty Boop character. And I heard a little bit, so I don't know, listeners, let me know, but I had also heard Betty Boop is another symbol of the GBLTQ community. So I thought that was interesting, this connection with Cyndi Lauper, and she's so beloved by that community, and I love her for it. The song He's So Unusual was written by an Al Sherman, Al Lewis, and Abner Silver. That's a lot of A's, and released back in 1929, and was featured in the motion picture Sweetie, Shapiro, Bernstein and Company are the publishers of records. The music video was directed by Ed Greels, and the producer was Ken Waltz, while the cinematographer was Francis Kenny. They say here that the video was shot in the Lower East Side of Manhattan in the summer of 1983 and premiered on television in December of 1983. And the choreography was by a New York dance and music troupe called XXY, featuring Mary Ellen Strom, Cindy Lee, and Pierce Turner. And what I love about looking at it now in the eyes of 2024, the diversity. Girl, she was doing it back in 1983, and you guessed it, per Songfacts, it said here, quote unquote, a theme in Lauper's work and evinced in her song True Colors is acceptance. Most of the women seen on MTV were the kind of beautiful people rarely seen in the real world, but Lauper made sure that the video was populated with regular folks doing their thing. In the book, I Want My MTV, she explained, I wanted girls I wanted Girls Just Want to Have Fun to be an anthem from women from around the world. I mean, all women, and a sustaining message that we are powerful human beings. I made sure that when a woman saw the video, she would see herself represented, whether she was thin or heavy, glamorous or not, and whatever race she was. God bless her. She won the inaugural Best Female Video prize at the 1984 VMAs for Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And the music itself, video that's hit 1.3 billion views, is recognized by MTV, VH1, and Rolling Stones as one of the greatest music videos of all time. Whoa, lots to unpack there. She's amazing. I'm going to download her greatest hits. And please watch the video. But the misheard song lyric is not "I found love, but I come home in the morning light." If you have great suggestions like this misheard song lyric, send it to any of our sites like Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, or just send me, myself, and I, misheard song lyrics, email at our Gmail at misheard, that's MISSHEARD songs at gmail.com. Till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.